Alright, stop what you're doing, because this story should make every single alarm bell in your head go off. Russia is now claiming that Ukraine launched a drone attack on one of Vladimir Putin's residences on Christmas night, right as peace talks were supposedly closer than ever. And just like that, boom, Russia says it might have to rethink negotiations. No damage, no casualties, no proof, just accusations. So the question is simple. Is this the most convenient attack in modern geopolitics, or are we being played again? Because if this sounds familiar, that's not an accident. Let's break this down. And if you want clear, unapologetic analysis instead of headlines without context, hit that like button and subscribe to Breaking Supporters right now. Here's what we're being told. According to the Russian government, Ukraine launched 91 drones toward a residence linked to Vladimir Putin in the Novgorod region, close to Moscow. Russian officials say every drone was shot down. No injuries, no destruction, no evidence shown. But despite nothing actually happening, Russia immediately escalates the language. Terrorism, provocation, red line crossed. And suddenly, surprise, Russia is rethinking its position in peace negotiations. Now let's pause right there. Because when someone tells you they were almost harmed, but nothing happened, and now they need to change their behavior anyway, that's not security. That's pretext. And Ukraine? Zelensky comes out and flatly denies it. Says this is an attempt to drive a wedge between the US and Ukraine, especially after his meeting with Donald Trump in Florida. So already we've got two radically different stories. And only one side benefits from chaos. Now let's talk about the Trump factor, because this is where US audiences need to pay attention. CNN confirms that Donald Trump had a phone call with Vladimir Putin shortly after this accusation surfaced. The White House calls it positive, constructive, vital for peace. But notice what happens next. Russia walks away from that call claiming outrage over Ukraine's alleged actions and signaling a potential shift in negotiations. Let me ask you something. If the call was so positive, why did Russia immediately introduce a reason to slow everything down? That's not diplomacy. That's leverage. And this fits a very old pattern. Military experts are already saying the quiet part out loud. They're pointing out that Russia has a long history of exaggerating or outright fabricating incidents to justify escalation. Sometimes it's an errant drone. Sometimes it's a terrorist act. Sometimes it's something they can't even explain clearly. But it always serves the same purpose. Delay peace. Maintain control. Shift blame. And let's be real for a second. If Ukraine had the capability to carry out a precise drone strike deep into Russian airspace and wanted to send a message, why would they pick a residence, cause no damage, and gain nothing? That doesn't pass the logic test. If you agree so far, smash the like button, because the algorithm needs to know this conversation matters. Now let's bring in the people, because the comment section is where reality usually cuts through the nonsense. One viewer says, if only it was true and Putin was in it. I get the anger. I really do. But here's the thing. This war isn't about vengeance fantasies. It's about accountability and stopping the bloodshed. And Russia knows how to exploit emotional reactions like that. Another comment reads, there is no peace deal and never has been. That cynicism didn't come from nowhere. Every time talks get close, something like this magically appears. That's why people don't trust the process anymore. Then this one, Russia faking this to excuse their war crimes. That's the heart of it. Because while we're talking about an alleged drone that did nothing, Real Ukrainian civilians are being hit every day. One commenter nails it. How many civilians were sitting in their apartments when a Russian drone hit their building? That's the imbalance. That's the moral distortion. And look at this sarcastic gem. So they're going to go from not negotiating to really not negotiating? Exactly. That's the punchline Russia didn't intend, but earned. Drop a comment right now and tell me. Do you think this accusation is real or just another excuse? I want to hear from you. Now let's bring this home to the United States. Because U.S. leadership, past, present, or future, plays a massive role here. When American leaders treat Putin like a misunderstood strongman instead of a calculated authoritarian, this is what happens. He tests boundaries. He creates narratives. He sees what he can get away with. One commenter said it bluntly. If Trump applied real pressure on Putin, he'd have a Nobel Prize by now. That's harsh, but it raises a serious question. Is the U.S. pushing for peace, or just managing optics? Because Putin doesn't respond to vibes. He responds to consequences. Here's what to watch. Russia will continue to reference this alleged attack whenever negotiations stall. It will become a talking point, a justification, a shield. Ukraine will keep pushing for security guarantees and a ceasefire, something Russia refuses because it loses leverage. And the U.S.? The U.S. will be forced to decide whether it's going to challenge the narrative or tiptoe around it. Because neutrality in the face of manipulation isn't balance. It's permission. So here's the bottom line. If peace was truly the goal, one unproven incident wouldn't derail it. If negotiations were sincere, excuses wouldn't be this easy. And if accountability mattered, civilians wouldn't be an afterthought. This story isn't about drones. It's about power. It's about control. And it's about how many times the same playbook can be used before people stop believing it. If you value real analysis, subscribe to Breaking Supporters. If this breakdown helped you, hit the like button. And if you've got a take, angry, skeptical, supportive, drop it in the comments, because that's where this conversation continues. Next video, we're digging into what the U.S. response should be if Russia keeps playing this game. Stay sharp. Stay questioning. I'll see you next time.